Hello everyone, welcome back to ThoseYGOguys. I'm your host Alessandro. So, yesterday I was coming back from my summer vacation trip and, I was scrolling through my YouTube subscription section and I noticed that Konami has finally released the July 2015 ban list, and I was like, whoa, okay, I'm not gonna watch the videos yet from my the channels I've subscribed to. I immediately gone to Konami's Forbidden List section, and I saw the list, and I was like, huh. And then I watched other people's YouTube videos, their reactions, their synopsis, and of course, how they feel about the ban list and all that. So, without further ado, I'll go through the ban list and I'll give you my synopsis and how I feel about the list overall. For Forbidden section, which means you can no longer run in your deck, we have first, Jin, Releaser Rituals, and second, Lavalval Chain. Then for a limited section, we have Shriek, Strategist of the Necros, and the return of Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. Wow. Okay, moving on to the semi-limited section. We have Atlantean Dragoons and Dragon Ravine. And finally, no longer on the list, we have Global, Sinister Serpent, Dark Strike Fighter, Sacred Sword of 7 stars, Temple of the Kings, and finally, Exchange of the Spirit. So, when I first looked at the list, I was like, there's some points I like, and then there's some points that I don't like. So it's kind of like a list where I kind of have mixed feelings, if I can say that any clearer than that. But I guess. But let me go down in more detail. First off, for Jin, Releaser Ritual being banned, good riddance. I mean, the fact that you have to main deck cards that are not really what you normally run in a particular deck, such as like Bull Blader, Book of the Eclipse. Well, DD Warrior is not that bad of a card, but you get the idea. I mean, the fact that you have Jin being a card, and either A, if they do it early game and it's like, well, you have it out to the Jin lock? Yes? Alright, you're out of the Jin lock. Nope. You're far behind. Or in late game scenario where you have burned through a lot of your resources, and then your opponent goes into Jin lock, and then you're pretty much done for. So glad to see that card gone. I mean, it was coming eventually. Lavalval Chain. This one I'm surprised a lot. Honestly, I was kind of against the idea of Lavalval Chain going from 3 to 0 immediately, because I was like, yeah, I know Lavalval Chain can lead to some pretty insane plays and all, but I didn't really picture it as like a broken card compared with other past cards that I've been through for a long time playing this game. But yeah, now that Lavalval Chain is banned, shoot. I mean, you remember that Infinity deck profile I did back earlier, like last month or so? Yeah, don't bother playing that deck, because, oh gosh. Like, good God, now that I mention Infernities, I feel sorry for Infernities now. I mean, especially people who love to play that deck. I mean, with Archfiend at 1, Barrier at 1, and Launcher at 1, well, I mean, Launcher, it was coming for it. I mean, it has its coming. but that kind of blows, and especially with Laval Chain, the card that kind of revitalized Infinity decks, and it's like, now it's just, wow. I don't know what to say about Infinities, but I guess, I mean, on the brighter side, I mean, eventually, I mean, with the banning of Laval Chain, sooner or later, Konami has to start giving back Infinity players their stuff back, like Arching, Barrier. Well, Launcher could stay at 1 because, yeah, we now have Soul Charge, so, yeah. But yeah, but I know there was like a large demand, and people were pointing fingers. The reason Laval Chain needs to get banned is because, one, like the Blue Blood Oni FTK, which, let's be honest, I don't think anyone has the stamina to really play a 90 procedure step FTK, not to mention in a tournament based scenario, like it's like a 40-minute process, like of an entire match. So I don't think you're going to have the time nor the stamina to really do such a thing. Now, granted, you could probably say, well, what about not in tournament scenario? Well, let's be honest. A lot of the cards that the Blue Blunt Oni FTK is not that good. And on top of that, the FTK is not that consistent. I mean, it's not as bad as like Chicken Race FTK with the Royal Magical Library and Magical Stone Excavation. I mean, Magical Explosion. Why am I saying Magical Stone Excavation? I don't know why. But you get the idea. So, yeah. But I guess now that Konami did it, I mean, there's nothing more I can do about it. Strategist of the Necros. This one's an interesting hit. I know a lot of people, including myself, were expecting something else, like Unicorn to 1 or Cycle to 1, maybe Brio to 1. But now that I stop and think about having Strategist of the Necros being put to 1, I mean, the fact that it counts for the entire tribute for the ritual summon, so you can just easily drop Trishula or whatever ritual monster you just feel like, and boom. And on top of that, the fact that it's searchable because of Rhoda, and when it's being tributed for a ritual summon, I mean, you can also add 1 warrior type ritual monster from your deck to your hand, so it does have a much bigger impact. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Necros is. I mean, that's their current hit. I mean, Laval Chain's banned, Jin has been gone, and Shriek has been put to 1. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting how Necros are gonna move on forward. But I kind of like this Necros hit better than the ARG list one. I mean, at least Trish is still around. So I mean, you know, like I said in one video, I mean, I kind of view Trish as like the Necros boss monster. I mean, if you talk about Necros, I mean, that's probably the one card that's popped up in many people's mind, well, minus the Jinlock thing. But that's no longer a thing anymore. But it's going to be interesting how things are going to turn out. I would be expecting probably some future potential like Exa, Enforcer of the Necros, and what's it called? Great Sorcerer of the Necros. That could potentially see some future plays in future Necros builds. That's something that I've looked into, and they look pretty interesting. They're pretty interesting cards. Like Exa fetches back your banished Necros card back to your hand, so that's pretty cool. What else is there? And plus, I mean, now you have to utilize Necros of Unicorn, since it's still at 3. I mean, now you're going to have to pitch it from your hand to get the Shriek back into your hand, so then you can do the ritual play again. I mean, I guess that's how things are going to go. Moving on to Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. It has been a while. Last time I played Trishula was September 2011 format. I was playing TG Agents. That was the last deck I played Trishula. It was very interesting to see. It was an interesting time playing Trishula. I know in the TCG it was Billy Break's Planet was that deck was pretty popular. Unlike TG Agents didn't really take off in TCG. It was more like the OCG that was favoritizing that deck. So yeah, we're gonna see quite a lot of interesting lower tier decks that can utilize this card, like Yang Zings, Synchrons. Well, maybe Synchrons if they have the room. TG Agents, like I said. List continues on. So very interesting card to see back. I guess Konami figures like, hey, if you survive this Necros of Trishula, I'm sure that you guys will be alright by dealing with this one as well. So, very interesting. We'll see how that's going to turn out. Alright, moving on to the semi-limited section, Atlantean Dragoons. Now, if you guys have been following this channel for a long period of time, you guys probably already know me. Like, I love Murmils. Murmils has been one of my favorite decks in a while, and I'm very happy to see Atlantean Dragoon. That's like one of my highest positive, outside Jin being gone, about this list. And probably Trish back as well. The fact that Dragoon is back at 2, I mean, it's gonna... It does quite a bit of wonders. I mean, the fact that the percentage of having an opening hand of either Dragoons with, Atlantean Dragoons with either a Mermail Abyss or Mermail Abyss Spike is it increased a bit. Or, not only that, you can also have, I won't be surprised if people are going to go back to playing Deep Sea Diva again, so that way they can go, well, first clear the board, like Refer Geki, and of course, battling through your opponent's back rows, if they're playing any, or depending how much. Then you can summon Deep Sea Diva, get Marksman. Marksman darks attacks your opponent, then gets Dragoons, then you attack Dragoons and Diva, and then you sink for 9, funny enough, and boom, there's Trish. I mean, it's really interesting, especially with Nodin coming out. I mean, it's going to be very interesting, especially like Instant Fusion, get Nodin gets back the Atlantean Dragoons, overlay those two for Bottomless Shark, and then Bottomless Shark's effect, detach Dragoons, get Abyss Strike, and then you surge. I mean, I'm very, very, very stoked up for Dragoons coming back to 2. So this is going to be a very, very, very exciting moment for me. Dragon Ravine coming back to 2. Honestly, that card could go 3 easily, but you know what? It's going in the right direction. I mean, it's going up in numbers. Eventually, it will be 3. It will be at 3 next ban list. Eventually, unless for some reason Konami sees that is not a good idea. And then the unlimited section, global. Hardly see a deck that runs 3 global. The last time I seen a deck that runs 3 globals was like back in 2011, maybe a little earlier. Back with Karakuri Machina Plant deck. That was the last time I seen some deck that runs for more than 1 global. Even though it's only a once per duel effect. But yeah. Sinister Serpent, garbage. I mean, why would you play that card? Dark Strike Fighter, I was surprised that that card hasn't gone up to 3 past format ban lists. Past ban lists. So I was kind of surprised about that, but now it's at 3. I don't think anyone's gonna be baller too much. Temple Kings, Exchange Spirit, don't really care. Sacred Sword of 7 stars, eh. I mean, I could see a little more with the... I saw the new Cosmo archetype. It's a pretty interesting archetype, especially for a crossover of Wizard of Oz with Star Wars into it. That's pretty interesting, though. But regardless, not gonna do too much. So overall, it's a ban list where it's like, it's mixed feelings. Like, there's some high points, like Trish is back, Jin's gone, Dragoon's at 2, and Dragon Ravine's going up in numbers. But there are some points I don't like Lavable Chain game ban. Certain cards that I was actually expecting, especially when Konami kind of hype up with the Kevin Stewart's article saying, you know, they're gonna go through referral. Looking back to tournament data and all that, and you would be expecting, like, you know, some people were kind of hoping for a big list, but, you know, it didn't really live up to the hype, but, so, one thing for sure, Satella Knights and Shadows, they remain pretty much untouched, surprisingly. Burning Abyss, no additional hits to the deck. Same goes for Cleaforts. Well, Cleaforts, I think they got hit the hardest, but I don't know. Now with the new Apocalyphort Tower Turbo build, I really don't know how I feel about that whatsoever. But overall, I mean, it was an interesting hit. I'm actually surprised that they're giving back, like, decks from the Return of the Duelist to, I mean, at that time period, that era, their stuff back, like, Mermel's getting a lot of their stuff back, Firefist got all their stuff back. I mean, to me, I like that one better than the other one I'm about to mention, which is the Generation Force, Photon Shockwave, Overlord Chaos, I think. But of course, you know, I feel like they need to give, like, Insector some love. Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't bump Hornet up in any numbers. Same goes for, like, windups. Like, Zemai's still banned. Magician's still at 1. Rescue Rabbit, I love the card to death. I love Rescue Rabbit, but I don't know. But overall, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a bad list. I know some people kind of jump ship when they trash ARG lists, and then when they saw this list, they kind of like, oh, I like ARG lists now. So, you know what? I mean, this may not be the best list at all, but, you know, I will say this, it could have been worse. It could have been, say, like, they could put, like, an OCG and say no changes is needed to make on the ban list. That one would probably make a lot of people a lot angrier than ever, but, you know, I mean, kind of wish Jin was banned earlier, but what can I say? But from what I've heard, I think, like, the next ban list is going to be the real one, the big one, from what I've been hearing from people. Well, so we'll see. Oh, additional note, the ban list has been effective on July 16, 2015, but there's no end date, so we don't know when they're going to update the list. They could just update whenever they feel like it, so yeah, you gotta be on your toes on that one. Outside of that, I think that's about it. Oh, excuse me. So, leave a comment down below what you guys think about the list. I mean, I know maybe not a lot of people are happy about the list, but you know, it could have been worse. So I mean, I'll still stand by Konami and their decision, even though I may not agree 100% of their hits and their choices, but oh well. So leave it a comment down below what you guys think, and yeah, I'll catch you guys later in the next ThoseYGOguys. I'm your host Alessandro, and I'll see you guys next time in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.